be basically bringing.
He will do actions.
He's fire from the sky down. Where in Christianity, on the other hand, Jesus Christ, when he comes back, he's gonna claim to be God, and the same fire motion is gonna happen. So your Antichrist is the Jesus Christ of the Bible.
Okay.
So how can you, match? Because it doesn't make sense, because your Mahdi is supposed to be here for 7 years, and that's the exact same 7 years that we are told that we're gonna have the, what is it called? I'm sorry, it's just because
That's okay.
English is not my first language, but the tribulation, you're gonna have 7 years tribulation. Yeah, tribulation, which is the same 7 years that your Mahdi is supposed to be just reigning for. In the Bible, the Antichrist, he will reign for 7 years, and he will make everyone bow down to him. Like, just so I'm not saying anything wrong, because he's very knowledgeable as well. He's gonna make people declare themselves, which is the mark of the beast, which is basically like declaring yourself accepting another God. So your Mahdi and your Isa is our Antichrist and the false prophet and the beast, because also in the Quran you have that I don't remember if it's the black stone now, because I was a Muslim a while back. I still read it, but I forgot the spot that either the stone or the Quran, they will be speaking. So, and the beast is supposed to be speaking. In our book we have an object which is supposed to be speaking. So it's basically the same story, but in reverse, where our Jesus is your Antichrist and your Isa is basically the other way around. It's the same story, but just the other way around. How can you
reconcile
the differences?
Yeah, I got you. So again, when it comes to speaking about the mark of the beast and speaking about these issues of eschatological issues of what's going to happen in the end times, well, there is a precept in the argument. She's asking, how do you reconcile? How do you reconcile that the earlier statements show that the Islamic sources, the Mahdi of the Islamic sources is actually the Antichrist? Well, there's a premise being assumed. The premise is being assumed is that Islamic sources are not divine, and the revelation is divine and from God. Well, I would agree with you. Let me make it clear. If revelation was divine, and the book of Revelation was divine and was from God, then it will pose an issue, because then I would have to hold to it and therefore reject Islam. That's obvious. But you have to first prove to me that why should I as a Muslim believe in the book of Revelation when we don't find early attestation for it? That's the first thing. And it doesn't date to the historical Christ. So me as a Muslim, I have no, how can I say this? I have no justification, I have no inclination to accept the book of Revelation, because it posits something that's ahistorical, first of all, and I have good reason to believe Islam is true, and therefore reject the biblical narrative of eschatology. It's very simple. So the answer to you will be very simple. Because I have good evidence for Islam being true, and because I have good evidence for Prophet Muhammad being a true prophet, I thereby reject the book of Revelation and accept Muhammad, because I can verify him to be a true prophet, because he is in the Old Testament. I can show plethora of examples.
Okay.
You said because of the Quran, it affirms what is true.
No, I didn't mention it.
You just said, you used the word true just now.
No, I didn't say the Quran affirms what is true. I didn't say that. I said because the Quran.
You said it because didn't you say because the Quran is what in line with what's true?
No, I said the Quran is true. That's what I said.
Yeah, but you said the reason why you're going with it is because it's affirming what is true.
No, I didn't say that. I'm not talking about. I don't believe the Quran confirms Revelation at all.
Pardon?
I don't believe the Quran confirms the book of Revelation at all. I didn't mention that.
No, but the reason why you're going with the Quran because it is confirming what's true.
No, I didn't say that.
No, as in other words, the Quran is what's true and Revelation is what's false.
Yeah.
Because of what the Quran is confirming what is true.
No. Because it confirms, I didn't say that.
So so is the Quran? So you're saying the Quran is true?
The Quran is true, simplicity. The Quran is true.
So is it too far for me to say the Quran is truth?
Sure, the Quran is
Okay.
true. Yes. Go ahead.
What makes the Quran truth?
Yeah.
I was going to ask this question.
Is that the same question? I got you. Yeah. That's fine. They can both engage. That's fine.
Hello, how are you?
What to you makes the Quran true?
Why
is it true?
I got you. This question is a very good question. And it's a question that every non-Muslim is justified in asking, by the way. Every non-Muslim should be asking, why is Islam true? Why should we read the Quran?
No. Not why Islam is true. You said the Quran. You said
I got you. The evidence for it being true, right?
Not the evidence.
What?
You said the Quran is truth. If you said evidence, then you would be saying that the Quran is confirming truth. You're saying Quran is confirming reality.
Do you agree with what he's saying? You want the evidence for Quran being true, right?
No, you rejected that, right? You rejected
brother,
that. No, you rejected that.
But listen to what she has to say.
Hold on.
One second. Just hear her out.
I know him.
You rejected
I understand that,
that.
but you guys are going against each other now because you want evidence for Islam and the Quran being true, right?
That is not what I asked, and you know what you rejected.
So what's truth?
Now,
What's truth?
This is you said the
Clarify
Quran
your
is
position.
truth.
Go
Don't
ahead.
ask me what truth is. You said the
Yeah,
Quran.
you want proof for that?
No. You're saying that the Quran is truth.
Yep.
Right? Now, is truth divine?
Truth in this instance would be divine, yes.
All right. So are you saying that truth, which is divine, and I believe Allah is al-Haq, right?
Yep.
Which means He is the truth,
Yep.
right? Is He this truth? Is it present on earth?
Yeah, if you mean, okay, this is, I got you. And I don't think you're ready for this conversation. I don't think you have the ability to engage with it anyway, but I got you. Yeah, when it comes to predicating names to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we employ what's known as analogical predication, aka that the subject and the predicate relating to that subject has different underlying reality dependent on the subject. So when we say Allah is the truth, what we mean by that is that He knows all things, He is the true being worthy of worship, subject to rububiyyah, uluhiyyah, and asma wa sifat. The three categories of tawheed. Now, when we say that the Quran is truth, that does not mean that the Quran is identical to the essence of God. It just means that in a predicate sense, the Quran possesses truth. Now, I understand that
So
what
it
I'm saying.
carries truth.
It carries truth, yes.
But if it carries truth,
By the way, this is tangential to the argument that we're talking about.
If
We're
it-
talking about
if-
Muhammad's
if-
prophet,
if
we're
it
talking about the
carries-
Bible.
if it carries-
And this is clearly tangential, and you know it. Go ahead.
if it carries truth,
Yeah.
right, then you're saying that is it that in the meaning of what you read, that's the truth?
I can answer you.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I'm saying that both in the lafz, aka the speech, and the meaning is both true.
Okay. The speech is it collapses into Allah.
Nope. What's the argument for that? What's the argument that the speech of Allah, which
Because
is a distinct...
it's-
Let me finish the question. What is the argument? He's a proponent of ADS, by the way, divine simplicity. What is the argument that the Quran, the speech of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, being a distinct attribute of Allah, somehow collapses into their being? Please give the argument for that.
Because how do you make the distinction between Allah and His speech?
Yeah, we make a distinction between Allah and His speech because Allah is the bearer of the attributes, and the attributes merely subsist in their essence. Now, to keep it fair, I understand that these terms may sound a bit difficult, so you can ask me to break it down. But don't proceed if you don't know the terms. Allah is the bearer of the properties of the subsistences, and the speech is a subsistence in Him that instantiates the genus of speech, aka the Quran, or speaking to Moses, or speaking to different prophets.
So is the Quran fair enough, subsistence and all of that? I'm
Yep.
still learning, I'm trying to get used to that. But when you're saying that it subsists in Allah,
Yep.
right? Are you saying it shares the same essence?
No, because to share the same essence, to have the same essential properties, obviously essential properties are only said of that which bears the subject. That which bears the predicates. The attributes don't bear predicates. The attributes subsist in the being. So no, it doesn't share the same essence.
So is the speech, you're saying the speech of Allah, right?
Yep.
Is it in any way related to the Quran that you have?
The speech of Allah, the Quran
Is it in any way related to the Quran that you have on earth?
Yeah, the Quran is the speech of Allah, yes.
The Quran that you have on earth.
Yes.
So you're saying, and does that make it divine? Is it divine? Is the revelation that you receive from Allah, that revelation, is it divine?
It is divine. But divine does not entail that it shares the same essence. Divine simply means that it comes from the uncreated genus of speech.
Yeah, but you're saying it comes from the uncreated genus of speech.
Yep.
You're saying it's not created like you would say an angel is divine in some sort of
Nope.
sense.
Not
wouldn't
saying
say,
that.
like you wouldn't say like I don't know, spirits are divine in some sort of sense.
No, in
You're
that sense.
saying that this is a different category, right? Because it's uncreated. And it's divine in the uncreated
Yeah,
sense.
that doesn't entail that it shares the same essence, because for it to share the same, I already gave you the explanation, I'm going to repeat it one more time for you. For it to share the same essence, it must be itself a bearer of attributes. The attribute of speech in of itself is a subsistence in the bearer of attributes. It is not in itself that which bears the attributes. So again, there's a distinction which makes it so that Allah can exist and can be counterfactually dependent upon His attributes, and it it being the Quran doesn't entail that it shares the same essence, because we affirm a true distinction between Allah and His attributes. Now, for this not to go on so long, I want to engage with the sister. You can either give a reductio, an argument, not a line of questioning, or I can go back and engage with the sister.
Should I ask the same questions that we asked the other gentleman before?
Yeah,
you
please.
You can.
Okay.
I just don't. I've to be fair, I've got things. A lot of things that you said. I don't think there is a way. I don't think there's a way for you to necessarily say that the Quran is divine in the uncreated sense.
I can say that.
Without saying that Allah is present in some sort of way on the earth.
That's fine.
Without trying to do some sort of separation between the Quran that's present on earth. It's got its own sort of divinity that's uncreated, and Allah has His own divinity that is also uncreated.
I got you. I already gave you the response for that. I believe it's adequate response. If you're not able to respond to it, then that's fine. I would love to go back to engage with that.
Sticking around a little bit. Okay, just to help, for support, please.
Right.
Okay, because I'm still learning how to debate. Okay, because I'm
That's
quite
fine.
new. But what is it called? What makes it, in your opinion, Muhammad a prophet?
Good question.
What criteria does he meet?
Good
to
question.
be a prophet?
Sounds good. I'll answer that question. So the question that she's asking, guys, is what makes Muhammad a prophet? Now, there is many arguments that one can give for Muhammad being a prophet. You can either one give the argument from him being in continuity with the biblical tradition, such as him being foretold in the Old Testament to bring the kingdom of God and destroy the pagan kingdoms found in the book of Daniel. That's one argument we can give, and we can go into that. Or the second argument is going to be the argument from divine revelation or the argument from divine intervention.
Wait, did you affirm the book of Daniel?
Yeah. So just give me a second, let me just finish and then we can go into that. Yeah.
You'll be able to jump in?
So now, when it comes to, we can give either arguments. Which one do you want to engage with? Sister, let me know. Do you want to engage with Muhammad in the Bible, or do you want to engage with the argument from divine revelation? Up to you.
I'm familiar with it, but
I'm giving them choice. They get to choose.
with you.
I'm asking why have you affirmed the book of Daniel?
Yeah, because
you're taking multiple different I don't know, reasons as to why Muhammad is a prophet. Why did you include the book of Daniel? Why did you not exclude it actually?
I got you. Because when we read the book of because when it comes to God, and when it comes to God sharing revelation, God doesn't share true revelation with false prophets pertaining to the content, not the way that it's spoken, the content of it. When we go to the book of Daniel, the reason why we can verify that the kingdom of God being spoken about is true revelation in relation to its content is because we see it fulfilled throughout time. The book of Daniel chapter 2, verse number 39 to 44 talks about a kingdom, the kingdom of God, that comes during the time of the Roman Empire and destroys the Roman Empire. The reason why we can say that this we can use as evidence is, first of all, is binding upon you as believers, and second of all, because its content can be verified historically. Daniel predates the events that happened. Daniel foretells, just give me a second. Daniel foretells these events that are going to happen. We see them unfolding, and since we see them unfolding, we as believers must acknowledge this to be revelation, because otherwise it will be unjust from God to give true revelation to false prophets. And since we negate an injustice and evil from God, we can accept it. Right.
So are you saying that those particular verses in the Quran, that is the word of God?
We're not talking about the Quran right now.
No, sorry, not the Quran. In the Bible, in the book of Daniel. Are you saying that those are the word of God?
In its content, yes, but in its verbatim speech, no. Because when it comes to verbatim speech, we don't have epistemic openness, aka we don't have an ability to verify that actually Daniel wrote it down. But when it comes to the content, aka the meaning, just give me a second. When it comes to the meaning, we do have epistemic openness because we can corroborate it with history. We can look at what the kingdom of God looks like. We can look at what it does, and we can see that Daniel does predate this and does foretell this.
Are you saying that part in Daniel is revelation or not?
When it comes to the content, yes. When it comes to the verbatim speech, for example, when it says "the" in the Hebrew or the Aramaic, we don't have epistemic openness, so I can simply be agnostic on it.
I'm sorry. I want to bring up the Quran again, just to clarify that.
Yeah.
You're saying that those verses in Daniel, that content there is revelation, that's divine. The content of the Quran are the words,
In its content and the way, both.
Or the content?
Both. The Quran is both. Because we do have epistemic openness. We can verify that it's revelation. But when it comes to the book of Daniel, we only have epistemic access to the contents. We can't epistemically verify that the content does straight back to Daniel, but because its content is true, we can accept it. And just to be clear, I don't want to make it hard for you guys. I'm granting you the book of Daniel, and I'm saying I can grant every single verse of it to discuss Muhammad being in there. So just so you don't think I'm saying, hey, I will backtrack later. No, I'm granting the book of Daniel.
You're granting
right? I'm granting the book of Daniel. That's fine.
Okay, give me a second. Sorry, give me.
No issue.
So, if you can keep on going, so you were saying, what is it called? That Muhammad, in your opinion, is a true prophet. One of the criteria that you think that he is because of the book of Daniel, that he is foretold on in the book of Daniel. Can you show the verse which you're referring to specifically?
Yeah.
And also the other criteria, apart from that, the other criteria also for Muhammad to be a prophet, because it's not just one criteria like this. There are multiple.
That's what I said, we can go one by one, no issue. Yeah. So the first one she asks for the references, asking for the sources. How do you know this? When you go to the book of Daniel, chapter 2, verse number 39 to verse number 44, Daniel receives a vision and interprets the vision of King Nebuchadnezzar. And upon interpreting this vision, he says that the 39 to 44. He said that the kingdom of God will be set up during the time of the fourth kingdom, which is Rome. 39 to 44, which is Rome, and after it's established during the time of Rome, it defeats the Roman Empire.
He affirms all of Daniel, or all of Daniel.
I'm saying I can grant all of Daniel because it doesn't help your case. The book of Daniel, the prophecy points to Muhammad, no one else. It can't be anyone else. So here's the evidence. Verse Daniel 2, 39 to 40.
So I want to contend. If
you say,
wait, which prophecy? Are you saying
the kingdom of God to come?
Are you talking about all of Daniel?
All of Daniel is not about the kingdom. I'm talking about the prophetic elements.
You're talking about 13.
Okay, so when it talks about prophetic elements, when it says in 13.
Just let me finish the statement. I'll just finish the statement.
Go on, sorry.
So the verse number 44 says, in the time of those kings, the God of heaven will set up a kingdom that will never be destroyed, nor will it be left on other people. It itself will endure forever, and it will destroy those kingdoms. Historically speaking, the only group to fulfill this prophecy is the Muslims in 1453, when we defeated the Roman Empire, thereby fulfilling the prophecy found in the book of Daniel. Therefore, we can substantiate that there is a continuity when it comes to relation to Muhammad being a true prophet in relation to the book of Daniel. Go ahead.
I don't know about that because I don't know if Islam destroyed the Mesopotamian.
Mesopotamia is not the full kingdom.
Or what about the Spanish conquistadors?
The Crusaders.
Crusaders.
The Crusaders didn't finish.
South America.
I got you. I got you.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know if
I can respond to that.
On one empire, that means that they've accomplished that vision.
I can respond to that because
I wanted to add about Daniel 7:13. So you're saying that you're affirming the visions, you're affirming everything that's in Daniel.
Yep.
I was watching in the night. This is Daniel 7:13. I was watching in the night visions, and behold, one like the Son of Man coming with the clouds of heaven. He came to the Ancient of Days, and they brought him near before him. 2 hymns. Then to him was given dominion, glory, and kingdom. Then all the peoples, nations, and languages should serve him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion which shall not pass away, and his kingdom the one which shall not be destroyed. I want to ask you a question.
Go ahead.
Are you to worship Muhammad?
Very, very good question, guys. Very good question, and this would most likely be the best objection that someone who goes in the book of Daniel 7 is going to raise. Now, the word in question for serve is palach, and in the Aramaic, the same word is found in the book of Ezra 7:24, because part of Ezra is in Aramaic, and it's used for the pelachim, giving pilach to the temple, which means that the word pilach used is not exclusive to Yahweh. Not only that, the parallel word palach in the Hebrew is used multiple times over and over for Abraham and for other people other than Yahweh, and you can check the lexicon, you can check the interlinear, it's all there. You can check it. So the answer to the question is, yes, according to the Quran, we serve Muhammad, peace and blessing upon him, but it's not going to be divine worship because divine worship is only for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the question to you is, does Ezra 7:24 corroborate, and does the Hebrew equivalent of the word corroborate that the word can be used for other than Yahweh? Yes or no?
I don't know about what you said about the translation of the word, but I just want to clarify that you're saying that you serve someone who's currently dead.
Yeah, we can say that, no issue. The Quran says that we should serve Muhammad because we have his sunnah, we have his tradition, and we obey him. Yes, of course.
So you obey Muhammad?
Yes, we do.
Okay. So you give obedience to Muhammad and Allah?
Yes. But it's going to be analogically predicated. When it comes to Allah, it's going to be ultimate worship. When it comes to Muhammad, it's going to be mere servitude in relation to his commands.
And what's the distinction between that obedience and Allah's obedience when Allah has given his commandment to Muhammad? Surely you're only obeying Allah, and you should never say you should be serving Muhammad.
The
in any
Quran,
sense.
the Quran literally says, obey Allah and obey the messenger. The Quran itself.
So it's two.
me
You're
a
serving
second.
two people.
Yeah, but it's going to be analogically predicated. So the only way for you to get around this is to strawman position and say, hey, collapse the two ways of servitude and then attack that, a strawman. You can do that, or you can be intellectually honest and you can engage, because we make a distinction between servitude given to God alone, aka ultimate submission, and follow Muhammad in relation to his teaching and his commandments. So you can go either way. But the point being, I want to go back, because the point of contention is, who is the kingdom that destroyed the Roman Empire? Historically, everyone could look it up. 1453, attack on Constantinople. It was done by the Muslims. Muslims fulfilled this, no doubt about it. And therefore, sometimes it's Muhammad being a true prophet. Go ahead.
How exactly did, again, the one that looked like the Son of Man, coming with the clouds of heaven, he came to the Ancient of Days and they brought him near before him.
Yeah,
And then to him was given dominion and glory.
that's right. That's right. When it comes to dominion and glory,
And a kingdom that all peoples, nations and languages should serve him.
Yep.
His dominion is an everlasting dominion.
That's right.
Which shall not pass away. And his kingdom the one which shall not be destroyed.
You bet.
So his dominion, glory and kingdom
Yep.
all belong to Muhammad. That's what you're saying?
yes. Islam is a dominion that is forever, is going to last. And the word being used for forever is, I believe...
I think that sounds, to me that sounds a
No,
bit...
you can give a reduction. Just 1 second. You can give a reduction, but if you're going to attack a strawman, it's not gonna get you far.
I don't know if I'm attacking a straw man.
Just give me a second.
Okay,
Just give me a
sorry,
second. So yeah, Islam is the dominion, the kingdom, and given to Muhammad, and that Islam is forever.
Whose dominion is it originally?
Yeah.
Whose dominion does it belong to?
Yeah, it ultimately belongs to God, but God.
It was given to Muhammad.
Just give me a second, but I'm responding. The ultimate dominion is always given to God, but God having that dominion can share it for agents that carry out His dominion.
So Allah shares His glory and dominion with somebody.
Hey, brother, you can
Okay,
wait.
sorry,
you can wait. Because if he's going to give a reductio, the only way out for him is to say, oh, there's going to be shirk. That only obtains, and this is very important, everyone needs to pay attention to this. That only obtains if the modality of dominion is the same when it comes to the subject Muhammad and when it comes to the subject Allah. But we make a distinction. We say that the ultimate dominion over everything is given to God, and shared dominion or partial dominion is given to Prophet Muhammad, peace and peace upon him. Now, to be clear, I can say, for example, I have ownership over my house. But hold on, Allah has ownership over my house. Does that mean that I'm committing shirk because I'm saying that I have ownership and God has ownership? No, because we make a distinction. Give me a second.
That analogy, sorry, really, give that analogy one more time.
Yeah.
Sorry.
For example, we say that Muhammad has a kingdom,
Yes.
and God has a kingdom, and you think that's problematic. Well, we can say that Allah owns this house,
Yep.
and I can say that I own this house, and the distinction is going to be that God has ultimate ownership of this house, meaning it can't be revoked of his ownership, it can't be sold of him, it can't be bought of him, so on and so forth. But when it comes to me having the ownership, just give me a second.
Sorry.
When it comes to me having this ownership, it's limited. I'm faulty, I'm a creation. So yes, we can say God has ultimate ownership over that dominion, and Muhammad has shared limited ownership over that dominion, and that doesn't contribute because the Quran literally says that Muhammad is given dominion, and that's found in the Sunnah, and there's no issue with it.
Okay. The kingdom that we're talking about is an everlasting kingdom, or nations, or peoples, or tongues.
You're right.
The glory and dominion is given to this person.
Is God given dominion, or does it have it?
Pardon?
Is God given dominion, or does he essentially have it?
This is God's dominion, and you're saying that this is given to Muhammad, right? So just like you gave the analogy about the house, when you say that Allah has this house, and then Allah gives you dominion of this house, that means that you and Allah both have dominion and glory over this house.
Yeah, if you're going to qualify it, which I'm afraid you don't want to do, because you know under qualification of the statement, then there's going to be an issue with your argument. I don't know why he's doing this. He knows that if the statement is qualified, it doesn't tell an issue. The qualification is that we make a distinction between ultimate ownership, which is reserved for God alone, and limited ownership, which is reserved for his agents. For example, God alone takes away life, right? But God sends angels to carry out this specific job in the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So there's no issue with that. So again, the question is, according to this verse, let me ask this question. Does God essentially have dominion, or is he given dominion?
I don't know what you mean by essentially.
So meaning that he's not given it, he essentially inherently has it in his essence.
I think that
Clarify that a bit more. When
Yeah,
you're saying
the question is very simple.
Dumb me down.
Yeah, when it comes to saying God has dominion, is God ever given dominion that he didn't have, or is he essentially has it from past eternity past?
Oh, he has it from eternity.
So the Son of Man can't be divine. Thank you so much, because the Son of Man says that he's given dominion, and therefore he can't be divine. Thank you.
But then, if you're putting it that way, in the sense that dominion is everything and all-encompassing as it's described in this text.
It doesn't say that. Show me where it
all
says.
peoples, nations, languages should serve him.
Yeah, show me where it says that the dominion is given is the ultimate dominion that's only reserved for God. Show me. Does it say that?
If all peoples, nations, and languages should serve him,
Yep.
right? And this is given to Muhammad,
Yep.
right? In which he's given glory and dominion.
Yep.
Right? Whose dominion and glory is given to him?
Yeah, he's given the limited dominion by God to the person. Because as just agreed, God is not given dominion. So the Son of Man, according to his own concession, can't be God. And he believes that the Son of Man is Christ.
But
So that needs to refute him.
that giving of...
Just give me a second.
Okay.
Just give me a second. So again, does the verse say that the dominion given to the Son of Man is the ultimate dominion? Does it say that?
Well, it doesn't say the word ultimate.
Okay, good.
But if you're going to stick with this exact description, then you're saying that the person who's been given it is a king because it's a kingdom.
Yep.
You're saying that they have dominion and glory over peoples and nations.
That's not true, by the way. Because you believe that the Jews... I got you.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
And this kingdom is all encompassing of all all peoples, nations, and languages, and they should serve him, the person who has been given this dominion.
Yep.
Right. So if you're saying, which you said before, that you are to serve Muhammad, right?
Was Jesus a literal king?
You are to serve Muhammad, right? You are to give him glory. How is that different to the same glory and dominion given to Allah, who's had it first, according to you?
I think I already answered
to
this.
your point as well.
Please.
And also, you guys also do worship Muhammad, because when you begin your prayer, you do say Assalamu. I don't know how to pronounce it properly.
Assalamu alaikum, ya Nabi.
Yeah. So you and worship according to the Quran is prayer. So how
Dua,
can you
dua is what
put all these points together
Good question.
and reconcile it?
Very good question. The sister asked a very good question, and again, I've already given you the distinction. I don't need to repeat myself.
No, but the distinction isn't real.
Just give me a
because-
second. Just give me a second, but I'm answering you. Okay.
No, the reason I'm saying the distinction isn't real is because if you, using your analogy of the house, if you and let's say this person both own the house and he gives you glory and dominion of this house, anyone who lives in this house, anyone who acts in this house, they're gonna see you and this person as partners.
Nope. That
They're
doesn't
gonna see you as equals.
That doesn't
because
follow.
you both have dominion over the house.
I got you. I'll answer you.
Fair point.
I'll answer
Fair
you.
point.
That assumes your own understanding of being given dominion. But because Islam allows for a distinction, I'm epistemically justified in believing that the reverence and the servitude given to Muhammad is not identical to that of Allah, because Allah Himself makes that distinction. He says, obey Allah and obey the Messenger. But the same Quran also says that Muhammad, he's a mere man and he passed away. Just give me a second, brother.
Sorry.
So the Quran makes the distinction, and the book of Daniel itself makes the distinction, because if the book of Daniel says that the Son of Man is given dominion, ultimately that can't be the ultimate dominion, because as you just said, God doesn't receive ultimate dominion by his own concession. He said it with his own
That'll be
tongue.
by his essence, because you said essence.
But
it could be given to his person.
just give me a second. We're gonna get to that. No issue. And the second point, the question that she asked was regarding, but you guys worship Muhammad because you send salawat upon him. Well, that would be true, but fortunately, we have the corpus of hadith, which tells us that it doesn't entail worship, because we have explicit narrations that mentioned that it is the angels that hear the supplication and then give it to Muhammad, peace and blessing upon him. What that means is that Muhammad is not omnipresent. Muhammad doesn't hear the dua that we supplicate to him. We merely say it because he taught us to say it, and it doesn't entail that he's a partner or he has some sort of omniproperty, because it's the angels that carry out the dua to him. Now, the question to you is very simple. When it comes to saying that the Son of Man receives glory and dominion, is that an essential, having dominion, is that an essential property or a hypostatic property? Having dominion.
When he's receiving the dominion and the glory, that's hypostatic, so it's relational.
So guys, pay attention. He just said that God having dominion and glory is not an essential property. So according to...
No.
Oh, so is it essential?
I said it's to the essence.
Is essential meaning that is one of the set of essential properties?
To the essence.
Yes, essential.
Yeah.
Is essential, right?
To the essence.
So good. So the person must essentially. What's up? Yeah, by the way, you're bleeding. By the way.
Am I?
Yeah.
You're bleeding.
So God,
Yeah, on this side.
whichever person is being predicated to, must be essentially having dominion.
I didn't see it.
He believes that the Son of Man does receive that dominion, which means he doesn't essentially have it. So he refuses argument either way. But again, I would like to proceed past this because we've been over this many times and clearly they're not able to give a good reductio or a good refutation to it. But I would love for you guys to engage with the argument, which is Muhammad did indeed defeat that Roman Empire and they're fulfilling the prophecy.
Okay.
That's the substance of the argument.
Wait, you're talking about okay, sorry.
Okay, but just before we go into that,
Yeah.
about the worship part. So, according to your Quran, Surah 20:14, it is truly, I am Allah, there is no God worthy of worship. Because prayer is worship, regardless of the other steps that you add onto it, like that you were trying to explain, which is unnecessary. I like to keep things simple and straightforward. There is no need to complicate things. It's just like the meaning of the word spirit is soul, which according to the Quran, Jesus is the word of Allah and a spirit from him. And a spirit, the meaning of the word spirit is soul. So you cannot debate that because that's what's written for the meaning of the word spirit, which is what I do a lot. So how do you still, Allah is supposed to be the only one that you are supposed to worship. Yet prayer is worship and you are praying to Muhammad.
Yeah, I already qualified that the reason why it wouldn't entail worship, because for it to entail worship, there has to be another qualification. The other qualification is that we're directing and we believe that Muhammad truly hears those prayers simultaneously from all 2 billion believers. That's the only time it would qualify to be shirk or associating partners with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Since that condition is negated, it wouldn't entail worship. So she's saying, hey, the only condition for it to be worship is that it's prayer. Nope, that's not the condition. There also must be a recipient that you believe truly hears 2 billion believers supplicating towards him every single day. Since that doesn't obtain, and I know you guys don't like it because when it comes to your belief, you guys are all about personhood and essence and being explicit and being clear with the terminology. But for some reason, when we Muslims do it, it's a problem. No, we're going to give tafsil. We're going to give a breakdown of what we believe to show how it doesn't entail worship. So for it to be worship, Muhammad must be omnipresent. Since Muhammad is not omnipresent, therefore it doesn't entail worship. It's very simple.
What is it then?
It's supplication to Muhammad.
What is that?
Supplication. Dua, supplication to him.
What is supplication?
You don't know what supplication means?
Yeah, what is supplication to someone who you're saying is dead? What is supplication to someone who you're saying is dead who wouldn't hear anything?
No, exactly. We don't believe that he hears the prayers.
So why do you do it?
Because the hadith, because the hadith says that it's the angels that hear it and pass it to Muhammad, peace and peace upon him. So because the hadith reconcile this issue, you guys have no ground to stand on. The argument just doesn't follow. That's the issue.
I think it just, to me, all it holds or goes back to is how you're saying that all Muslims, in a sense, do give glory and dominion to Muhammad, who is dead.
Oh yeah, if you qualify it, there's no issue. If you qualify the statement, then there's no issue. But
in a sense.
But then you can't give a reductio. That's the issue. You can't give an argument.
But it's just you're just agreeing with me, in a sense, that all Muslims on this earth do give glory and dominion to Muhammad.
Again.
And they see him as the person in and they see him as the person in whom all kingdoms, nations, tongues, right, should serve. In a sense. All in a sense.
Watch this. He's playing semantics because, just give me a second, brother. The closest thing he can get to, the closest position he can get to is saying that, hey, in a sense, when I say God died on the cross,
he died in his humanity.
Oh, so in a sense he died, right? I can play the same game because we give a qualification.
No,
give me a second.
If you're saying that's the case, right, then you're saying that there's something that is shared between what you do to Muhammad and what you do to Allah.
When I give that analogy, it's completely separate. Do you believe that God died in a sense, right?
No, but when you're using that analogy,
in a sense.
No, hold on. When you're
using I'm not giving an analogy.
No,
it's not an analogy.
Okay. When you're using that point back on me,
right.
I think you're actually showing that it is actually true that there's something being shared between what you do for Allah and what you do
Again,
for Muhammad.
I'm not saying that.
Is it completely?
It's
They're
complete,
not at all.
It's completely different. I'm saying that you believe that God died in a sense, yes or no?
Yeah.
God died in a sense.
Okay.
Yeah, the
Right?
person of God.
Oh, so you have to qualify, right?
Flesh.
Yeah.
The flesh, right?
The
So it
person,
looks like,
Jesus Christ,
so it looks like
sacrificed
I
humanity.
can't actually make an argument against you because you qualified
But
it.
it's real.
Just give me a second. Just give me a second.
It's real death qua his humanity.
Just give me a second.
right?
So
is it real
if somebody,
worship?
one second, if somebody said,
by what?
one second, if somebody said that, hey, God died, as in the essence that would be wrong,
That would
correct?
be wrong, yes.
So, and if somebody says and tries to make that semantic argument, you would say, hey, we qualify what we mean, right?
Yes, we qualify.
Good.
But we
So,
would say, hold on. But we
here
would
we
say
go.
that the person has truly died.
That's
He's
fine.
Truly
The-
died.
the point being
so
is that
then
you qualified.
Have you truly worshipped Muhammad? Have
No,
you
again,
truly given him
nope.
glory?
It doesn't
Have you
entail-
truly given him dominion?
I got you. It doesn't entail worship, and it doesn't entail any punishment or shirk, because the
so-
modality. Just give me a second.
I said
Just-
I said the wrong word. So
just
not
give me a
worship.
second.
Sorry, guys, not worship. Dominion,
Yeah.
glory, and service.
Yes.
Right? Do you truly?
Yep.
Do you truly
Yep,
do
truly.
those things?
Now, is there a reductio to that statement? Is there
You can
something?
make- yeah, you can. Is there? Yeah.
Is there an argument against the Islamic Sunni Athari position when I make that statement?
I think there is one that you're making, but I don't think it's
No, one that you're making against me.
No, as in one that you're making when you're giving it back, when you're giving an explanation.
Right. So what is the argument that this proves Islam is false?
What I'm saying is that there's no way that you're properly distinguishing between this service, glory, and dominion.
I already
when it's-
did.
When it seems to be all the same.
Oh, so when God died, is it the same that in essence the same that qualifying a quarter person?
No, but I've given the I said that he's no. Remember, I said
so
that
he
he's truly,
did qualify.
No,
Okay, good.
I said the person of God, Jesus Christ, he truly died for his humanity.
Very good.
So I'm asking.
So when it comes to
when it goes
servitude,
to-
I
Yeah,
got
so-
you. When it
so-
comes to servitude, the ultimate submission is given to God alone. And when it comes to servitude to Muhammad, is obeying him, as the Quran says, aka following his commands. Now I qualify
and giving him glory.
Yeah, and giving him glory. There's no issue with that. So I qualified that. So now, since I qualified,
how do you give glory?
yeah,
How do you give glory?
by following him, making sure that his sunnah and his tradition is upheld, and making sure that everyone around me forbidding evil and allowing good, so on and so forth. By following him and making sure that he's the greatest example to be followed, so on and so forth.
Do you
Now,
follow Allah?
Again, this is going to be analogically predicated. This is tangential.
Yeah, but
I
that's
want
what
to
I'm
move.
saying.
Do you know, brother? You know, one second.
It's like It's like it's a chain that you're going from Muhammad to Allah.
Do you know what
But the thing
analogical predication is?
is- Go and explain.
Analogical predicate, I already explained it. When the predicates pertaining to a subject changes in modality depending on the subject. So when we say God exists, and I say I exist, is the modality of my existence the same as God existing?
When you say modality,
The way that he exists and the way that I exist. Mine is contingent existence, his is necessary, right?
right?
So the way that I exist, although I'm saying that I exist, and the way that God exists is going to be different. For example, we say God speaks, I speak. Is the way that God speaks, perpetual speaking, the same way that I speak? No, it's not going to be the same. So the point being is that analogical predication, known in the Athari school.
But you're both-
So just give me a second. We're both speaking. Nobody said that. We're both speaking.
So you're sharing in something.
Nope, it doesn't, because
You're
shirk-
sharing in what is speaking.
Well, one second. Shirk or partners only follows when the sameness is sameness in modality. That's the whole point, not sameness in predication. That's the point I'm making. So that's simple. Now, can we move with the substance about the kingdom of God that destroys the pagan kingdom? Because that is the argument I'm making for Muhammad being a true prophet. This is tangential. Okay?
You still didn't finish all of the, what is it called, criterias for Muhammad being a prophet.
Okay.
You guys went around. I want to try and keep it as short as possible, as straightforward and as simple.
Yep.
Because there is no need to add unnecessary steps. Everything is straightforward in life. If it's not straightforward and there's too many,
It doesn't work.
It's just something is wrong there. Okay, it should be like, did you kill someone? Yes or no? What did you eat for breakfast? It should be quite simple and straightforward. There is no need to add unnecessary steps. So let's try and keep it straightforward. If you were to die, what process do you go through in your death? Like, I'm trying to get to a place that will link back to what he's saying. But
How's that have anything to do with Muhammad being a true prophet?
no, but it's just a question. If someone was,
Yeah, but
if one of us
the thing
was
is,
to
these
die-
guys, they obviously waited. They want to like hear substance. So the point being is that it's
he
not.
will lead back to his.
But I'm saying let's be straightforward and get there
You
now.
have the flesh, which you can touch,
Yep.
which one day you will go, and you also have a spirit
Yep.
in
That's
your
all.
body.
Yeah.
Okay, which will lead back to what you were trying to explain on the cross, basically.
Oh, no,
Oh, that's fine. I can grant his position. I can grant your position.
It's what
I can grant.
I think we're.
I understand
what's
that.
your name, by the way?
Amir. Amir. A-M-I-R.
That's
Amir.
good conversation.
No.
I feel like I feel like we're being tested here, but I'm enjoying it. It's good. Okay,
Sorry, guys. Yeah.
we started with going into Daniel. You've
Yep.
affirmed all of Daniel. Then we went to Daniel
7:14.
13 to 14. You are saying that Muhammad is the Son of Man coming on the clouds of heaven, approaching the Ancient of Days,
Yep.
who has received glory and dominion from all the tongues, all the nations, and all the peoples on all the earth, and his kingdom
Everlasting.
is everlasting. Okay, and that you serve him as well. And you're all saying that that is to a certain sense, which is completely unlike the sense in which you give to Allah.
In modality, yes.
Okay. I mean, I'm going to leave it there.
Sounds
I
good.
think I
So
can leave
when it
there.
comes to your argument, you said that Muhammad being a true prophet. Do you want to step away from the Bible and give you another argument to why is Muhammad a true prophet? Is that where you guys want to go? Up to you. I'm an open book.
I
I
wasn't listening.
wouldn't take the Quran into the account, like when it comes. Okay, so explain to me. So, what was the point of Jesus coming and doing everything that he did if Muhammad is supposed to be such a supreme
Okay. So
best of mankind?
So are you
best
asking-
of examples?
you mean what's the point of him coming back in the second coming? Or was
No, the first time that he came.
Yeah.
What was he supposed to do?
I got you. As the Quran explicitly says in chapter 19 of the Quran, Surah Maryam, that Christ was sent as a blessing to mankind, not like Galatians portrays him to be a curse, like Paul says, and sent to be a prophet of God and guidance to humanity, specifically the lost sheep of Israel, as we found in the Gospels. So we believe that Christ is just a succession of prophets who claim to be the Messiah and claim to be a true prophet to give true guidance and to correct and abrogate some of the Torah, such as we find in Matthew 23, where Christ abrogates some of the Torah. So we find that the Islamic conception of Isa, or Christ, came to first of all confirm the Torah, abrogate parts of it, and claim prophethood and claim continuity. So that's simply the case.
So, man, we've been going for a bit here. Okay, let me.
You guys, we can do like final statement. I don't mind. Up to you. So we can just wrap it up. Up to you.
Okay, man, this is a good conversation.
Okay.
I enjoyed it.
Sounds good. Man.
I think I've come to an understanding of where you stand. I don't think.
You can disagree, but at least you understand each other. That's all.
No, I disagree. I don't think you'll be very comfortable with saying all those things about Muhammad being that son of man.
I said it in front of you.
But yeah, fair enough. I think that there's a way when you're saying that he's sharing in dominion, glory, all nations and tongues will serve him. That distinction, you're just saying that you're certain that, but I don't think that you can make a real clear distinction between what you do for him and what you do for Allah. But I have heard you, and I enjoyed the conversation.
Thank you.
Listen,
Thanks so much.
for me, I've got things to learn. I'll keep going.
Sounds good. Thank you for the conversation. Anything else you want to add, or up to you? Feel free. Open book, guys. Up to you.
I'm calling it.
Okay. Fair enough.
So what is I still don't understand. Why are you referring to Muhammad in Book of Daniel as the son of man? Because in parts of the Bible and the scripture, it kind of
corrupted.
leads to...
Oh, is that...
Okay, what makes you say it's corrupt?
No, I thought that's what you're going to say. I apologize.
No, I'm not saying anything about corruption.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is what leads you, again, I'm still trying to understand, to believe that's Muhammad, when there are other parts of the Bible. I'm not going to remember all the verses. I'll come more prepared next time.
Mark
that
1:1,
refer
yeah.
to Jesus
As the Son of Man.
the Son of Man. So it's only one.
I
You
got
cannot be Jesus and you cannot be Muhammad at the same
That's
time.
right. That's correct. It can't be both. So she's saying, guys, hey, how can we reconcile the fact that the New Testament clearly refers to Christ as the Son of Man, fulfillment?
And Jesus calls himself the Son
And
of
Jesus
Man
calls himself the Son of Man, right.
Which is only one person.
Right. Actually, according to Daniel, the Son of Man figure, found in Daniel 7, when it talks about the beasts, Son of Man, Daniel uses it interchangeably with the saints of the Most High that fulfill the prophecy found in the book of Daniel. But to answer you, the reason why Christ fails it, and the reason why Muhammad fulfills it, is because Christ comes before the division of the Roman Empire and doesn't defeat the Roman Empire. In contrast with Muhammad comes after the division, which is in line with the scriptures. Daniel 7, Daniel 2, 39 to 44, just give me a second, says that the kingdom of God comes after the division of the Roman Empire and then defeats it. So the simple answer is, Christ falls short, doesn't fulfill it. So the actual answer is that the New Testament portrays a false Messiah. That would be the conclusion, right? That's why Islam rectifies it, because in Islam we have a true Messiah that comes during a time when that kingdom is everlasting and fulfills his messianic role. Okay. So it doesn't pose an issue for us.
When you're saying the Son of Man and when you're using it there are times where Jesus says that you will see the Son of Man coming in the clouds.
I understand that, right? Says that, yeah.
So he's referencing referencing Daniel 7 as himself.
Yeah, he is.
Right? Now you're also taking some of these words of Jesus, right, to affirm Muhammad.
Yeah.
No, the discussion right now just revolves around the book of Daniel. What does Daniel say? Because when it comes to epistemology, I got you.
We're using the Daniel to point to different people.
Right.
And the people I'm pointing
the criteria here is the book of Daniel. The criteria is what tells us who fulfills it. Now, if you want to have a separate discussion regarding, well, hold on, how do you reconcile that Jesus says this and you use some statements of Jesus, then we can get into historicity, then we can get into corroboration, then we can get into HCM, but that's a completely different discussion. Right now, if we want to focus who best fulfills the prophecy in Daniel, if Christ comes up before the division and gets defeated by the Roman Empire, then clearly doesn't fulfill
and you're solely using it because of the destruction of the Roman Empire.
Correct, and the timeline as well, that the kingdom comes after the division and then it defeats the kingdom. And that was done by the Muslims
and
only.
When you say destruction, what do you mean? What exactly do you mean by destruction?
The same way that Daniel uses it for the previous kingdoms, because Daniel actually tells us that the first is going to be defeated by the second defeated by the third defeated by the fourth, so on and so forth. And every single time that defeat is by physically, militarily conquering that kingdom. Right, and we also find in the book of Daniel chapter 7, verse number 26, that the kingdom of God is supposed to take away the dominion and the glory from the little horn, who is a king that comes from the fourth kingdom. So it is physical, no doubt about that. And that's what Irenaeus believed, actually.
If it's physical, how do you explain the final part, which is a mixture of...
iron and clay.
Yeah.
The mixture of iron and clay is when the Roman Empire divided into West and the East. So initially the legs were only iron, and then it became iron and clay.
Yeah, it was fractured up.
Yeah, so that would represent the West and the East, because the West was weak, it didn't withstand, and the East stood for 1,000 years longer under Constantine. And that's what represents the iron and the clay.
And you're saying that that's a military...
No, conquering.
That's a military. The splitting is a military.
Yeah,
even though it says in the text it's fragments, not two pieces.
No, it says two pieces. It says iron and clay, 2 pieces.
No, they're 2 pieces, but
Two
they're
elements.
intermixed.
Right.
So in other words, in some places where you find iron, you'll find clay. In some places where you find clay, you'll find iron.
Yeah, but the point being is that it's referring to two elements.
Yeah, but what is that final? That's not a. That doesn't sound like a military conclusion there. That sounds like peace.
It does, because actually Daniel says.
In fact, what I would even say is it may be a transition from a physical battle to one that is a spiritual one, in which there will be Christians in all nations around the world.
It doesn't help, because Daniel himself says that the defeat of the little horn and the taking away of his dominion is physical. That's the point. He says it's going to be physical. So any objection that you raise to the text is simply going to be anachronistic, is going to be opposing what the text says.
I'm pretty sure Daniel can be read both as physical and also as spiritual.
Nope, because the earliest reading by the Jews and Irenaeus, who read the text, expected a physical defeat. Irenaeus himself says against heresy.
Just because they may be expecting...
Just give me a second, because I'm giving more credence to my reading. I understand it's going to be probabilistic, it's not going to be deductive, it's going to be inductive. And I'm giving more credence to my belief because mine is substantiated through the text and by the earliest understanding. So when it comes to the kingdom of God, found in the book of Daniel, the reason why it's going to be physical is firstly because Daniel tells us that the little horn, who's a physical figure, is going to be defeated. That can only be fulfilled physically. It can't be fulfilled spiritually. So again, it doesn't solve the issue of Christ being a false Messiah because he doesn't fulfill at all.
Okay.
So, yeah, go on.
I was going to say, I'm going to call it here, man.
Sounds good.
That was a good conversation.
I have a little bit more questions. Can you stick around a little bit?
Should we do 2 more questions? Two more questions
Okay,
from their side.
How long has it been?
It's been a minute. It's been a minute. But this is good. This is good.
Okay.
Okay, so how do you reconcile that? I'm gonna try and cut through because I don't like when he keeps going around and around and around unnecessarily.
Yep.
You should be more straightforward to tell the difference between Islam, Christianity, and Judaism. Should be more straightforward. There is no need to add, because I've seen it. I'm tired of debating with Muslims, and it keeps going on a non-stop circle like you guys. It comes to like the small details.
The
and it should be like
nitty-gritty.
this. You should be able to be straightforward and cut to the point. So how do you reconcile that to the point that the previous prophets, as Isaiah, Zachariah, that they say someone is meant to die and they are meant to be
Isaiah 53, they're meant to be pierced, so on and so forth.
pierced, to the Quran saying on the other hand that Jesus never died on the cross and that someone else was made to appear as him, but it doesn't give you information of who it was. It also doesn't go back to the fact, or I don't know, as far as I know, there is a historical evidence that what is it called, blackout? Like
in the day,
happened
yeah.
same time as the cross. So the eclipse and the earthquake, and it's historically recorded. So how are you reconciling all that the Bible and the Old Testament
The
has
fulfillment
said?
of a crucified Messiah.
Yes, and also the historical thing, because why would all of the sudden you have on the same date and time historical evidence of the earthquake and eclipse, unless something big and drastic was happening, which it was God's plan, where the Quran completely contradicts it. So
question.
how can you reconcile all of these things together?
That's a good question. So she's basically asking regarding the messianic expectation that's foretold, and she's going to be referring Isaiah 53, Psalms 22, Isaiah 9:6, so on and so forth.
And also Daniel 7.
No, that's it. Well, good try. So look,
I think that I would say Daniel 7 too.
the simple.
as well as all the other
I
messianic
got you.
Reminds me,
prophecies.
so Daniel 7?
13 to 14.
So I'm just going to answer that objection. The simple answer is going to be that I don't believe that there's any messianic prophecies that foretell a crucified Messiah, and that's for two reasons. First of all, is because there's nothing that compels the reader when it comes to Isaiah 53 that the remnant, the righteous remnant of Israel, doesn't fulfill it just as much as Jesus did. So there's nothing that compels a first century Jew to take the interpretation that's referring to a crucified Messiah that's going to be unalive. Second of all, we don't find any Jews, and it's very important, we don't find any messianic expectation of the Jews saying that the Messiah is supposed to be unalive. What that means is that we can give a good argument from silence. A good argument from silence is that when we would expect evidence, but because we don't expect evidence, the proposition can be rejected. Since it is the case that no Jew believed that a Messiah was going to be crucified, then it's going to be the case that this interpretation can simply be rejected. It's void. Not only that, when the disciples themselves saw Christ being crucified, what did they say? They said that we didn't expect the Messiah for this to happen to him, and they started doubting him, which means that the reading.
Only Thomas doubted.
Right, the disciples, the other disciple ran away. Did they not?
No, they ran away at the point. They ran away at the point at which Jesus was taken in the Garden of Gethsemane.
Yeah, exactly.
We know that John was present.
Right.
And we also know that they gathered together, right? And when they were given when they were then spreading the truth that he had risen, it was only Thomas who expressed doubt, and
Right.
then he also then believed.
No, but prior to that,
Once he had touched
the
his hands.
the point being, the point still remains that the messianic expectation was not a crucified Messiah. So the question to you guys would be, it's a very simple question: can you please name me a single Jew prior to Christ that believed that the Messiah was going to be unalived on a cross, if it's explicitly taught in the Old Testament?
Well, I can show you Zechariah 12, which says, "They
Zechariah.
will look upon me who they have pierced, they will mourn for him as one mourns for an only son, and they will weep bitterly over him like the bitter weeping over a firstborn son." So it does lead to saying firstborn, a son,
Did any-
they will
yeah.
weep and mourn. Mourn, the word mourning, the meaning of the word mourn, and I will just bring it up so I am not speaking. So mourn, meaning of the word.
By the way, I'm not saying that you can't have that interpretation of the text. I'm saying
I
it's improbable.
understand, but the thing is, mourning is the meaning of the word mourn means to feel or show sorrow for the death of someone. So it directly says death, basically.
The righteous
because
Israel,
because of the meaning of the word sorrow, which means death. You're mourning and weeping over someone
And
who has died.
righteous Israel was unalived. And there's no so again, there's nothing that is exclusive to Christ that compels the reader to believe that it's not just righteous Israel. And again, the point being is that if I make a good argument from silence, under induction, if not a single Jew read and believed that this was about the Messiah, I can reject that interpretation because it's not historical.
I know Jews who did. I know 12 of them.
Yeah, again, that's with Christ. I'm saying before Christ. Anyone who read it and believed that it was the Messiah. Anyone?
But why should I listen to the Jews when the text is in black and white?
Very good question. If it's black and If it's black and white, do you agree that we would expect messianic expectation of that?
Yeah, the Jews. The
Good.
Jews that believe that Jesus Christ is the
Good.
disciples.
So who before Christ had the same messianic expectation aside from the anachronistic reading found in the New Testament? Because the very thing in question is the Old Testament. Nobody.
I don't understand the.
Yeah.
It would be the writers.
Yeah, that's begging the question because the very thing in question is what the writers intended. I'm saying that if the writers intended a messianic fulfillment,
That's hence why they would write. That's hence why they would write these messianic prophecies.
That assumes that it's a messianic. I'm saying that the very thing in question is the writer's intention, and I'm saying that we can derive the writer's intention from the surrounding beliefs of the Jews because we know what they believe. And the simple answer is just to make it, not waste everyone's time. I'm going to make the statement, and you guys can make a final statement. Not a single Jew before Christ believed that the Messiah was supposed to be unalived on a cross. No one.
Okay, but I don't need to believe the Jews because God has already given the message. I don't need to.
That's the very
listen
thing in
to
question.
humans. I need to listen to what God is saying. And in the text in black and white, this is what's been said. You guys keep saying that Jesus is the Messiah according to Islam. Yet you don't have an actual how do I say
reason to why he's the Messiah?
Justification.
Yes, a justification to why he's the Messiah. Not just this. I'm not listening to Jews. In the end of the day, I'm the one who is going to die, and I'm the one who's going to go in front of God, and I'm going to have to tell him what I've learned and what I know and why I rejected what I rejected and why I didn't go out of my way to listen to his words. So I believe that the Tanakh, the Torah, the Bible, they are all the word of God. So I don't need to listen to a human being because no human being in the end of the day is gonna respond on my behalf. I'm the one who's gonna pay for the sins. I'm the one who's gonna go to hell or heaven. So I don't need to believe in that. But in the text, it's in the black and white that Jesus is the Son of Man, Son of God, whatever way you want to refer to him.
I got you.
From the tribe of Judah, and he's the Lamb. So it is referring to him. But you are saying that the Jewish. I am saying, forget about the Jews. In the text, how are you reconciling it back to your Isa?
I got you.
Isa and Jesus, they're two different people.
I got you. Yeah. So guys, I got you. Yeah, let's do closing statements. So when it comes to hermeneutics, when it comes to interpretation of a text, an interpretation of the text is going to be inductive, meaning that a writer, depending on his intention, can infer different things. So when she says to me, hey, I'm justified in believing that the text says it because the text says it, that's begging the question. What I have to understand is that I'm giving an inductive argument. I'm giving an argument from probability. And even she agreed, if you guys paid attention, she said that if the text taught it, we would expect belief about it outside the text. For example, is it possible that the Quran teaches monotheism, and although the earliest believers in the Quran don't believe in monotheism, is that possible? Nope, it's not possible.
No, but they wouldn't. But the earliest believers didn't necessarily understand the relationship between these attributes and Allah. No, they didn't.
All the companions.
That's still in consensus. No, come on, that's true.
But just let me answer. I'll answer objection.
That's not consensus. That's still in contention.
I'll answer you. I got you. Again, when it comes to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in relation to his attributes and his sifat, all the companions knew everything. The only reason why we don't find it written is because they didn't face heresies that were later addressed by the mutakallimin, by the philosophers, so on and so forth.
So who's correct now?
Just give me a second, brother. That has nothing to do with the argument. So again, if she already agreed that we would expect reflection of that belief outside the text if it was taught, that's exactly the argument. I'm not saying when she says, hey, I don't have to believe in the Jews, she's attacking a straw man. I am not saying you have to believe the Jews. I'm saying that if your belief is tenable, if your interpretation is true, we would expect Jews before Christ to affirm the same belief. Since we don't see them affirming that same belief, it's likely, it's improbable that your belief is that of the text.
I think that's an unfair criteria because,
Yes.
like I said, what you said
You guys can
about
close off. Go ahead. Admit this.
what you said about Allah and His attributes, we can see in history that there is contention as to how Allah relates to His attributes. It's not consensus. And then for you to say
It
that
is consensus.
well, his followers are in consensus as to exactly how Allah relates to His attributes.
We have the
You're saying-
sayings. We have what they believe. We know what the
Yeah,
companions
but you
believe.
have different schools. You have different schools of
No,
thought.
none of the companions held to different schools. All the companions were
Yeah,
athari.
so then you have the companions and then you have the schools. Is that what
The
you're saying?
schools
So
emerged
this-
later.
So in other words, which school is correct?
The athari school.
All the other schools are wrong.
Wrong.
So that means they're not Muslim.
Nope, that doesn't follow. Because when someone's being a deviant doesn't mean they're not Muslim. That's a different discussion. You can go ahead and close off.
Anyway, we went through Daniel 7, 13 to 14. We went. We're not going to repeat everything that went through again, but it seems like Amir here believes that the Son of Man is actually Muhammad, and this same Muhammad is, in a sense, receiving glory, dominion, and servitude, all the nations, all the people, and all the tongues. This was a good conversation.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
I'll be honest, I had to really think on my feet here a bit, which I think is good. I've got some things I want to study, but yeah, good conversation.
Thank you for the
man.
conversation. Thank you so much. Much
And
appreciated.
maybe, hopefully, at some point we will again
Yeah, hopefully.
have the conversation.
Sounds good.
Because just the closing, as a closing statement,
Yeah,
very quickly.
please.
Do you believe that, in my belief, Isa and Jesus, they are different people. They cannot be the same person. Even the speech, the character, completely different one to the other. Would you agree on that or no?
My belief is that the Isa is not identical to the synoptic or the New Testament Christ, but it is identical to the historical Christ. Because I don't believe that everything you have about Christ
The
is historical.
historical Christ died
There
on
we
the
go.
cross.
Yeah, I find that historical that he did die on the cross. I find that historical data points to him dying.
And also
But, yeah.
historical that he also claimed to be God.
No, I don't believe
According to, if I'm not wrong, his name is a historian called Celsius. Or
Okay.
Celsus.
No, let's
He
leave it
said
for
that
another day.
Jesus apparently reported to be God.
Another day. We can do it for another day. No
Okay,
issue.
okay.
No issue. But thank you for the discussion.
You are not
Thank
allowed
you.
to shake my hand.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
God
Thank you.
bless you guys.
Thank you.
Pray for us in the corner.
Whose mic is this, guys? Whose mic is this? Yeah, there you go. Yalla, boom. Done.
Can you
I'm gonna go.
Well, so you as well, sister.